Hello, my name is Josh, and I'm a watchaholic. Welcome to Horology Insanity. What is up, my watch friends? Check this out. Today we've got a little bit of a different watch. So keep in mind that I have no desire to be a watch review channel, right? There's tons and tons of channels out there that are already doing all kinds of reviews, and they're honestly doing it much, much better than me. And for the watches that we're going to be looking at today, you probably won't see these on the normal watch channels that you maybe browse or that you spend time on. But just like there's good reviews of, other watches on those watch review channels, so too is there much, much, much better like watch reviews and detailed specs and everything for the watches that we're going to be looking at today. So just keep that in mind going into it. The main reason I wanted to bring this to your attention was because, honestly, I thought they were kind of cool. And since the main theme of my channel is to just do this hobby and for y'all to come along with me as I go down this journey, then I'm hoping you might find them cool too. So this is kind of where we're at today. And if you can see, this is just the slip cover. But what we're going to be looking at today is Kronaby. Now, if you haven't heard of these before, I highly recommend watching this video and then going and checking out their YouTube video. I will also link to a couple of reviews that I found pretty helpful, and so you can check those out. And then I recommend going to their website. They have a pretty good website and a pretty good YouTube page, but once you see what these watches are all about, that probably won't surprise you. So let's get into it. Today, I've got 4 watches, right? I've got 4 watches, and 2 of them are mine. 2 of them are my buddy Jay's. You've heard me talk about my buddy Jay on the channel before, one of my best friends. And so the cool thing about Jay's watches today are that they're a gift. So his anniversary is coming up, and to celebrate his anniversary, he picked up 2 of these watches, one for himself, one for his wife, and he's going to gift it to her on their anniversary trip coming up at the end of this month. So I am filming this way in advance, way before I'm probably going to be able to post it. I think all the information is going to be the same, except for the fact that now, if Kelly happens to watch this, well, then I won't have ruined the surprise. Here, I've changed up the background a little bit. If you really want to understand the insanity that my hobby has become, hence the name of the channel, Horology Insanity, it's a play on words. But you can see that I've got my watch winders, well, at least 2 of my watch winders, doing a great job holding all of my digital watches in the background. So I hope that gives you something to kind of enjoy and look through, even though I'm probably going to try to hold your attention on the watches that I'm about to show you. Let's get into that. They come in this nice little white box with this, I don't know what this stuff is called. It's pretty stylish though. So what you'll notice is that I wouldn't call Kronaby a fashion brand, but they are very fashionable, if that makes sense. So once you go to their website, you check out some of their other stuff, you'll probably start to realize what I'm talking about. But this just goes to show you, what we're looking at and kind of the way their style starts. Now, let's go ahead and pull these out of here. Now, you'll notice it's got tags. It's got a booklet that I don't think anybody reads. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. This watch has got so many features and options that I'm really going to recommend. Go to their website. Go look at YouTube videos. I don't think that these little booklets down here are going to do the watch justice. So just keep that in mind as you go through this. Or if you get one of these and you start to play with it, that might be a good recommendation. You're probably going to want to go that route. So Kronaby is based in Sweden, and you can check the kind of ownership and lineage of them. I actually think they were bought out last year by another company that has quite a bit more horology heritage and that kind of thing. But their overall slogan is connected, not distracted. And basically, what they want their watches to do are keep you informed of significant things in your life, mainly by being connected via Bluetooth to your cell phone, but without all the constant alerts and everything else that most smartwatches have. I wouldn't consider Kronaby to be a fashion brand, even though they are fashionable. And likewise, I wouldn't consider them to be a smartwatch, even though they're pretty smart. So let's take a look at a couple of the models that we have here. The first one is the Apex. This is a 43 millimeter case, and they also have these in a 41. We're going to see another model of a 41 here in a second, but this is the 43. And for those of you who know me, I have an 8-inch wrist. Here, we can do a quick wrist check. I've got on the all-metal silver G, which is an amazing, amazing watch. But anyway, so with my larger wrist, I actually really enjoyed wearing this 43. So much so that I picked up a second one. Let's bring it into view here. Now you'll notice that the main differences between the two are that one on the left has a single subdial, kind of like a small seconds complication, and the one on the right here has 2 subdials. Now, you can go through all of the different app settings and whatnot, and I'll show you that here in a second on my phone, but these things are cool, and the way that they work is you can set them. The time, of course, automatically sets to your phone. You'll notice that the one on the left is connected to my phone, which is why it's reading the correct time, and the one on the right is not connected, and therefore it's not reading the correct time. Now, quick specs on this. These watches do come with double-domed sapphire crystals with AR coating. They are quartz-style batteries, so they do run on approximately 2 years. 2 years for the battery. And they are 100 meters water resistant. Now, the reason that I think that these are cool, or that I might even recommend them to anybody else, even if you're kind of a, well, it depends on how hardcore watch enthusiast you are, or what you use to define being a hardcore watch enthusiast. If that means that you're a mechanical watch snob that only has a brand heritage of 3,000 years and all of that, yada yada, whatever, then these aren't for you, right? But if you're one of those watch enthusiasts like me that just loves everything to do with the watch hobby and horology and timekeeping and, I don't know, physics and other sciences that might relate to time and space-time, well, then you might enjoy these. So these are both 43 millimeters. They both have the chrono pushers, which you'll notice that they're not actually chronographs. These pushers, as we'll see in a little bit when we get into the app, are going to give you a little bit some functionality and controls over both the watch and over your phone, which is cool. But the reason why I'd recommend these is because these are almost like a mix between, you know, your historical or traditional watch and your smartwatch. And I think that's the segment that they were going for. And in that segment, they hit it out of the park. The fit and finish, the quality on these things are absolutely fantastic. You can see the right one comes on kind of an oyster style bracelet, the left one on this smooth leather, and padded. I don't know, this thing is amazing. So anyway, with that, this is the Apex 43 millimeter. Go on the website, you can look up and see they also make a 41 millimeter. And the easiest way to differentiate these two models is look at the handset. So we'll roll in a couple of pictures now real quick, but compare the handset of the 43 to the 41, and you'll almost be able to tell immediately which one is which when you're looking at the Apex models. Now let's move on to the next ones. This is Jay's set. This is the model of, I think it's called the Sekel. The Sekel. I'm going to try to get these up here without getting a bunch of fingerprints all over them. There we go. And let's look at these beauties. Now you can see the last ones I just had up had kind of a matte black, really, really dark gray, almost really dark gray dials. These are white, almost pearlescent silver, and they have a little bit of a sunburst effect to them. Not so much that they, blind you when they shimmer in the light, but they give the dial a little bit of texture, which, if you watch my channel enough, you know that I'm a big fan of that. But these right here are the Sekel 38 millimeter here on the left, that's Kelly's watch, and the 41 millimeter here on the right, and that's Jay's watch. Now in a second, I'll pop up the 43. Well, let's just do it now real quick. Let's pop up the 43 so that you can see side by side the step progression. Man, that's a lot harder to do than I thought it would be. Okay. You could try to get these and not beat them up. And the black actually comes across a lot bigger on the camera than it is in person. The step upgrade from the 38 to the 41 to the 43 is not as big as this one is currently leading you to believe. I don't know if that's depth perception or color variation, but not to say that the 43 isn't bigger. Of course it is. But it's not as big as I think you're seeing it on the camera. But if you can see, just overall spec-wise design, they're all very similar. They all have the 3-button chrono-style pushers, and they all have the double dome sapphire crystal. They all have the kind of sleek K-shape that you see here that comes up to a fixed bezel. And so from that perspective, all of the models are going to be very similar. But they're also so different. If you go to their website, they've got some rose gold options. They've got a bunch of different colored dials with different accents on the hands. Let me see if I can get in close on this. I don't know if you can see that, but these are blue hands. I don't know if they're technically heat-treated blue or if they're, just painted blue. But the hands and the small seconds and the indices are all blue, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now let's see if we can get a quick close shot on Kelly's. And here you can see that only her hour hand is blue, and then she's got a little bit more classic styling with the silver indices and the silver minute hand. But here we go. You've got it 38, 41, and then they also make a 43 version of the Sekel, so you can check that out online. But last, let's go ahead and look at the app, because this is the coolest feature. Now, if you go to the website, you'll notice they've got 2 other ones, a Nord and a Carat. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know anything about it. And I know that sometimes a lot of watch channels maybe get things in for review, or they get sent by stuff, or if we're honest, a whole lot of YouTube is just paid advertisements. So anyway, I only make that clarification real quick just to say that, Kronaby didn't send me these watches. I'm not doing this as an advertisement for them. I'm doing this because I think they're awesome. I think other people might think they're awesome too. And so I'm just trying to share the little bit of info that I have. Keeping in mind, I'm not an expert in Kronaby or anything. But let's look at my phone. Here's the app. You can see that since I have it paired with this, it automatically pulls up a picture of it. I'm assuming if you paired it with another phone, right, then it would pull up a picture of that one. I'm sorry, if you paired, the watch with another phone, it would show you the picture of that watch, etc., etc. But I haven't tried it. So here you go. I've just paired this one, and it pairs just like any other Bluetooth watch pairs, or really any other Bluetooth device pairs. Let's see if I can get that to stay up. But here's what's cool. Look at some of these options we got here. Watch face, filter notification, pushers. Remember I mentioned pushers and the things that they can do, activity and settings. Now, if you go through this and you click on the watch face, let me set down the watch and try to play with this. Okay. So what you have here is you have the ability off of the center button to determine 2 different functions and modes for it. And that usually depends, if I can scroll in, if you press it once or twice. See the little 2x? So if you press the main crown twice, it'll give you a secondary function. Now, what's really neat, let's see if we can get this in here. You can see second time, whatever. All you have to do is just drag this and put it up there, and it'll swap out what your functions are. So I think I had it on stopwatch a second ago. Let me go put that back up here. See, drag and drop. Now you can see why I said the theme of this company being technology. They have a pretty nifty, website, YouTube channel, and app, because they kind of need it. Now, let's go right here, click on subdial. And now, because this only has one subdial, kind of the small seconds, you can pick one of these options on what you want. Now, you'll notice that there's some in purple and some in white. So what they do is they allow you, if you want to sign up for some of their beta testing or some of their functionality that isn't quite ready to be rolled out to full-time production yet. It's probably still got some quirks and some bugs, but if you want to use it, you can. And so the purple ones are the ones that they're testing out. So you'll notice that up here, I have it set for temperature. And so you can switch it out to any of these other ones, but I have it set for temperature. Now, I will say that in my experience, the watch time works flawlessly. The functionality related to the time works flawlessly. And as long as you keep them kind of next to each other, they stay paired. You don't have to worry about that. As soon as they go out of range, of course they don't. They disconnect. But then as soon as you go back in range, they immediately connect again. Now, I will say that the one thing I've noticed using this temperature app, even though the phone is staying connected to the watch, and they're not, I'm not separating them too far to where they disconnect or have any problems, but out of the blue, the temperature will just stop working and it'll kind of reset back to 0. And so what I have to do is I have to come here into the app, and I have to come into this setting here in the subdial, and I have to reset it, and then it'll immediately pick back up and get going again. But that's the reason it's purple. That's the reason it's still kind of in beta, right? So anyway, this is cool. They've got a bunch of stuff here. Check out the app. Check out the watches. I'm gonna pull Jay's up. So it's kind of like a 5-link engineer style bracelet, butterfly clasp. I'm gonna be honest with you, the stuff is actually pretty good. I'm almost positive these are solid. Yeah, these are solid end links here, solid end links. Now, here's the tag on this, and I'll make one last note, and then we'll end with showing you what kind of loom these things do or don't have. But check this out. So here's kind of the model number for this one, I think. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I would go off of whatever's on their website. This, I think, is their MSRP, and they'll look a little expensive. Now, well, maybe expensive is relative. These aren't, I wouldn't consider these affordable watches. You look at the Casios and many of the other ones that I love, you can kind of see them in the background. Let's check out this whole cabinet over here, right? Half the cabinet over there for that matter. But affordable watches, I love them. Casio, as you know, is my favorite. But in this case, right, I wouldn't consider Kronaby to be an affordable watch. Now, I will say, though, that the quality for what you get is pretty good. So the value equation comes out well. And the last thing I'll say is, like a bunch of watches that are sold at maybe, your department stores or whatever, which you might be able to find these at your department stores. I bought them on eBay, but you're not going to pay MSRP. You're just not. So, and in fact, if you're a close personal friend of mine and you really want to hook up, email me and we can talk. I might be able to get you connected to somebody. So, but anyway, with that, that's it. Let's take one last second here and let's look at some loom. So let's see if I can get these. It's still light outside, so I'm going to give these a charge. Plus, as you can imagine, right, these things probably just aren't made to be loom monsters the way that Sekels are. So let's get these set up. Let's give them a charge. I got my studio lights on too, so that might be helping. You can see that when I shine it up, you can see where the loom is. These Apex models definitely have more loom on them. See, as I like writing that up, they definitely have more loom on them than the other models. And in fact, I'm guessing they make 2 other models, that Nord and Carat. I don't even think they have loom at all, maybe. But let's check this out. And Here we go, loom shot. All right, not bad actually, not bad. So you can see that the apex on the left are glowing pretty decent, and the ones on the right, especially Jay's Sekel, the 41 millimeter Sekel, because it has the loom pips on the indices, that's a lot easier to read. Kelly's watch, like many dress watches, you can barely see that, but I would liken it to, I don't know if you can see it in the background, I would liken it to the same loom that a bunch of my Casios have. That Oceanus is a little bit better, but I would liken it to Casio Timex loom. It's definitely not Seiko loom. But with that, lights back on. Until we talk again, remember what really matters, and that's not watches. Keep the insanity sane, my friend. I know that sometimes a lot of watch channels maybe get things in for review, or they get sent by stuff, or if we're honest, a whole lot of YouTube is just paid advertisements. Let's be real. And if you know me at all, if you follow the channel, I don't do that. All of these watches are ones that I bought with my own money, or in Jay's cases, he bought with his money. Everything I've got on here, none of this is sponsored content, etc., etc. Oh, I found this funny. So I was watching a video today, and the person said that it was not. They made the choice to actually clarify that the video I was watching was not a paid advertisement, and that they didn't get paid to do the video. But, and here's the way they worded it, and this was a little sneaky. I have a little bit less appreciation for this watch channel now, but I'm going to leave them unnamed. But they said, but they sent this watch in here to the channel. And basically what that means is that person who's doing the video is the channel. They sent him a free watch. He either gets to keep the free watch, or he's going to sell it and flip it and then keep the money that he gets from that. So it's not as clean and simple as many people make it out to be. And it's not to say that somebody can't get paid and still give an unbiased opinion. I think they can. But I think that far too many times we see shills and sellouts in kind of the watch hobby, honestly, in every hobby. You look at technology, that's one of the worst spaces. And then fashion and makeup. Okay, no, the world's just kind of disgusting now that I think about it. But anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about here. I make the clarification only to say that, yeah, these are all my watches. I'm not getting paid